Uh, hello, Jack. You are
Jack Nielsen.
the actor for Jerry in the film Joust Jerry.
Yep.
What made you wanna be Jerry in this film?
When I saw what you guys were doing, the studio, I was really interested in your work and what it stood for,
Yeah, yeah,
right? So I wanted to be part of that because I feel that my own creative ideals were being expressed in your guys' work. So I wanted to become part of that. It's some sort of like self-discovery mission in a weird way.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But why I wanted to play as Jerry, was that your question? I don't even remember.
Yeah, that was the question.
I just felt like because it's a Joust Jerry as a standalone film, it's I don't know if this is known, but it alludes to Kill Bill.
Really?
And I think I just agree with the film Joust Jerry, and I wanted
Yeah.
to just be part of it, and that's the role that was most like me.
Yeah, yeah.
I felt like I did a pretty good job being
Yeah, you did.
Jerry in the film.
Yeah. This is James Levy, actor of Jimmy in the Jimmy Cinematic Universe. What created the Jimmy Cinematic Universe?
Well, technically, the first Jimmy film that we filmed was Jimmy's Skunk Adventure. And
Yeah.
Wesley filmed that, and Wesley edited it. But Jimmy really came into his own with Jimmy's Chess Adventure. And then, after that, Jimmy's Multiverse Adventure. And that's when we established Jimmy as a recurring character. Jimmy as a cinematic universe.
This is Asias Armijo, co-creator and actor of Kronos in the Jimmy Cinematic Universe. My first question for you is, how did the Jimmy Cinematic Universe start?
Well, it started with Skunk Jimmy, which I wasn't a part of. But then, this year, we were given film projects in our class. So, me and Austin decided, let's make more Jimmy. And eventually, Jimmy became a Jimmy Cinematic Universe.
What were the mental effects of playing Joker Jimmy in Jimmy's Multiversal Adventure?
Well, as a lot of people know, Heath Ledger, one of the most famous Joker actors, a lot of people attribute his death to him playing the Joker in The Dark Knight. And I remember when I put on the Joker makeup, I wasn't able to be myself. As in, I wasn't able to be James. I embodied Joker. And the world to me, when I was wearing the makeup, the world felt like chaos without form. The world, I was forced to imagine what life would be like as an individual like that.
So
And what do you think Jerry represents as a character?
see, Jerry is a very complex mind. I feel it's just a personal thing that artists, when they write, I feel like the villain is the most important person to write before the protagonist.
Yeah.
I feel. And, I think my very multifaceted Jerry character, I feel, definitely encompasses that concept.
Yeah.
Right? So, I feel Jerry as a character, though, is kind of representative of Jimmy's journey. And, of course, is an objector to the plots and, causes the whole story to happen in the first place.
Yeah.
And in Jimmy's evolution throughout the film. I feel that is kind of Jerry's role, to push Jimmy towards
Towards a goal.
their goal, which is revenge, ultimately. And Jimmy gets the revenge that they desire.
Yes.
I feel.
Where do you see the JCU going in the future?
A lot of films hopefully will improve in quality someday. Maybe have actual cameras. Maybe be a successful YouTube channel. Do I ever see it going to be in film festivals? Maybe someday. Are we ever gonna make feature length? I don't know. Maybe someday. Right now, I think we'd prefer to stick to short films.
Where do you see the JCU going in the future?
Well, we don't have any specific plans, but the thing I will say is I see Jimmy.
So, you mentioned Jimmy's Skunk Adventure, which was a 85-minute film challenge. So we made a mockumentary about it was like a Bear Grylls mockumentary in 85 minutes, and we created this character Jimmy. And how did this short mockumentary film create an entire universe?
No, we just liked the character Jimmy, and we thought, what if we include Jimmy and more? But we don't specify. At first, we didn't specify if it was the same Jimmy, but now we specify that there's multiple Jimmys. We just like the character that we created.
Jimmy mean to you?
Well, the name Jimmy is a very friendly name. It's an inviting name. And when I look at Jimmy, I see my friend. I see somebody that, no matter who it is, whether it's me, Jimmy, or Skunk Adventure Jimmy, or my wife, Jimmy, even Joker Jimmy, you like them all. You want to have a conversation with them. You want to get coffee with them. Because Jimmy is for everybody.
What do you have to say about the many feet in the film Joust Jerry?
I'm often asked about this. Somebody has even asked me, like, on the street, like, for pictures of my feet. They wanted more angles.
Oh yeah, that death shot. We did get quite a good look at your feet.
I know.
Yeah.
And that was all on purpose. It was a very intentional thing to have my feet in the shot. I feel to stay true to the original character of Kill Bill, which is what we were taking some credence from, I guess, in a weird way. Having my shoes off and toes out, I felt was very film. It was very how do I describe it? Cinematic.
Yeah.
I felt, I've always believed, whenever I've had my shoes off, my mom read this book a while ago. It's called Grounding, I think, where you take off your shoes and socks and you just put your feet on the earth's soil and you just stand there. You just stand on the earth with barefoot, and it's supposed to connect you to nature and God or whatever. And I agree with that. And I feel like one of the major concepts in this film is finding truth.
Yeah.
That's Jimmy's journey.
Yeah.
And Jerry is the antithesis of this. So, I take off my shoes and I ground myself to the universe as it's allegorical for the story that's also happening on the screen. And also, regarding my character Jerry, why Jerry specifically does it, I feel Jerry is a very, he's a summarizing character. He's a character that summarizes the movie once you come to look at him.
Yeah.
Because he is the movie.
Yeah.
And
Centered around him.
I feel that it's a very deliberate, very powerful message to take off my character Jerry's shoes and have his feet out for the camera.
Yeah.
It, yeah. Nothing else to add on that, really.
Where do you see the relationship between Jimmy and Mrs. Jimmy going in future films?
It's not Mrs. Jimmy, it's Jimmy.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry about that.
Well, it's weird because we never get into arguments. We never disagree with things, you know? Like, for some reason, we agree on everything. It's weird. I've never really encountered something like that before. You know, we're thinking about having kids, but to be honest, to be honest with you, I don't know how that would work. I mean, that doesn't make sense, really.
It doesn't.
No. So, we'll have to see about having kids.
Okay. Yeah.
And, we're currently, you know, we're planning the marriage, you know. I mean, I've already proposed to her, of course, but we're kind of,
Testing it out.
yeah, and we're, the actual event, you know, we're gonna have a party, you know, we're gonna have a marriage ceremony, you know.
Yeah.
And we're gonna invite all the Jimmys, Heisenberg Jimmy, Rock Jimmy.
Why is Jerry so connected to his bike? What's the story behind that? Why does Jerry need to seek revenge after Jimmy takes his bike?
See, you know, the writers of the film, Kill Bill, they were also really wondering about this concept, about the bike, about the baby, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel that both the baby and the bike hold the same significance, but it's different because a bike is better. A bike represents more, I feel.
It does.
I feel with a baby, I mean, granted, it's a symbol of a future, right? But a bike is now. A bike is a reality.
Bike is now and the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I sense Jimmy is on this race reaching towards reality. The bike, that's the reality rather than the representation of the future that is the baby. I feel like that just makes the most sense.
Yeah.
I feel. And also, a bike is definitely much more useful than a baby. I feel like babies are generally useless. Like, and I feel like this is a very tangible, very practical film, and we need practicality, and I don't think babies are very practical.
Yeah.
But that's just my personal opinion. That's not what the writers thought of.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all the questions I have.
Of course.
So, what do you think the purpose of the JCU is?
At first it was just to have fun. Well, it still is, but I think it's just a show that you can make films with little
Yeah.
to no budget. And you don't have to have a script
Yeah.
either.